and say welcome to the SUCCESSFIT Team Call, June 8th. And doesn't feel like summer today, unfortunately, but I am so happy to have you guys all on, and even more excited that Christine is going to be doing our call. So if you don't already know her and love her, you will at the end of this call. But Christine and I met. She was probably one of the first coaches that joined with me that I met purely through my like page. So that was how we sort of met that way. And she joined me with the 3-day refresh. And then I had to harass her for a good 6 months to make her become a coach. So it works, right? And then they join. Anyway, and I'm so grateful that we've met, because she really is her, Lotus on Instagram, and her thing is Mindset Warrior. And, at the Diamond Retreat this year, we got to hear her share a little bit about that. And it was extremely inspiring. Everyone will back me on that one. And so it's really amazing to have her on. I know she's a busy, busy lady, and I appreciate the time tonight. So I'm going to pass it over to Christine and let her share with us about all the perseverance and all the things that we all need some good juju on tonight.
Awesome. Thank you, Bria. And thank you, everybody, for joining tonight. I hope that you enjoyed. Like Bria said, it was a fluke when I met Bria, and I think it was one of those things where the universe just kind of came together and brought people into your life that you needed without knowing that you needed them. And Bria was that person for me. I think, and I will say this, I've said it time and time again, that I think I was sold on her ad where she talks about wine and chocolate and trying to balance everything in life. And that was my connection. And I was adamant that in no way, shape, or form was I going to become a Beachbody coach. So I am the proof that people can tell you no, and they can tell you no multiple times, and then they can become a coach and realize that this is something that they really want in their life, and it becomes a passion and a desire and starts a fire in them. That, again, I didn't know that I would have, or that I didn't know existed. So thank you, Bria. Who am I? I am the average person when I look at my situation. I am a mom of two. Both my boys are very active, very busy. I'm very blessed to have healthy go-getters. They play rep sports. Coming into September, both of them will play rep hockey, which any of you that have children that play rep know that it's very busy. And right now we're in the middle of rep lacrosse season and house league lacrosse season. One's in rep and one's in house league, which, if I give you just a breakdown of this week, for example, we were in Niagara for a weekend tournament with our youngest. Last night was practice. Monday night was practice. Tuesday night was game. Wednesday night is practice. Thursday night is game. Friday night is game. Saturday is a game for my other one, and Sunday is a game in Peterborough. And all of those games this week are away games. They're out of Bowmanville. So when I say that they're busy and active and healthy, and I'm blessed, I truly do mean it. But they are my focus, and I don't miss their sporting events. To me, that is a priority. That's a non-negotiable in my life. And I know that some of the other coaches experience that as well with their kids. I am a happy wife. I am a full-time teacher. I have a very needy grade 5 class, and I will tell you straight up that I have 15 days left of school, and I am counting down. I have responsibilities within the school that I do take on probably more than I need to, because I have difficulty letting kids down, and I've coached every single sport this year in school except for 2. I also sometimes am the teacher in charge, which means when the principal is out of the school, I am the teacher in the office. And today, tomorrow, and Friday, that's what I'm juggling, as well as being out on the field coaching junior ultimate frisbee. So my days are not easy, and they are ones where they're draining. And I'm giving a lot to people that need me, because I feel that a lot of the kids in my life need love. I am a manager for Ethan's lacrosse team. I am a friend. I am a daughter-in-law. I am a busy person. And so when it comes to talking about this, And Bria says, you know, she's busy. I am busy, but I still feel that everything that Beachbody has to offer us in life is something that I am not willing to give up on. It is something that I am willing to find, to be able to bleed into the nooks and crannies in my life and make sure that I am still doing something that I am passionate about. So tonight I wanted to talk to you about the top 10 things that I have found in my life that help me manage all of these expectations that I have and all of the places where I get pulled into a million directions. And people say to me, and this year I have a couple of new families that I haven't come across before on Ethan's lacrosse team, and they're like, I don't, like when people meet me, they're like, I don't know how you do everything you do. How do you do everything that you do? And I don't know how I wouldn't do everything that I do. And when I was talking to Bria about what it was that I was going to talk to you tonight about, I was like, well, I'm not an expert in anything. I just know that right now in my life, I have a bunch of stuff coming at me from all different directions. And life is not easy. I currently have bronchitis. It's report card writing season. It's, we had situations go down on Ethan's lacrosse team. We have family stuff outside of my control, and it's happening. And Bria was like, you know what? Like, what do you think? What can you manage? What can you let go of? And my success partner Jody is awesome. She was like, what can you let go of? What? And in my head, I was like, Beachbody. I can let go of Beachbody. And then I couldn't even bring myself to say it because I was like, but that's not what I want to let go of. I can't let go of attending sporting meets. I can't let go of my responsibilities at school. I can't let go of these things. So I said to Bria, what I want to talk about is what is it that makes us have that drive or that determination when there's so many people out there that could be doing what we're doing and they tap out. They don't want to, or what happens when you get to that point where you plateau and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be a non-emerald forever. I'm going to be an emerald forever. I'm going to be a ruby forever. Why haven't I hit diamond? How am I only diamond when I've been here for so long? And why am I not a 5-star diamond? I put my time in. And what is it that I thought were the top 10 things that you can surround yourself with and that I find that I do? What is it that gets me to where I am without having too many breakdowns and bottles of wine? So my strategies. Number one, know your why, but attach it to a vision. So some of these things we talk about are non-negotiables, and we talk about knowing your why, and we talk about all of those things. And if you are in a business where you are an entrepreneur or you are doing something for yourself, that's not new. The reason I say that you need to attach it to your vision is because when you know your why and you see your why, that's great and it's intrinsic, but it doesn't necessarily give you that focus of what you're looking for. And one of the things that I'm very big on is vision boards. And when we were at our diamond retreat, we had the opportunity to make vision boards, and I was a tiny bit neurotic about mine. And the ladies that were with me know that. And I will say, the thing about vision boards is when you make them, you have to design them in a way that works for you. And each one of us did a vision board, and it turned out to be a reflection of our personality and how we approach different things. And to me, it was quite interesting. And I brought mine home, and it turned out that I walked into the middle of a kitchen renovation and craziness happening, and I put it up right beside my bed, and I was like, I'm going to look at this every day, and it's going to become beautiful. And it became a dust collector. And I was like, wait a minute. I know my why. I know what my goals are. I know what I would like to have. I have this vision, but I'm not looking at it. So you need to know your why, attach it to your vision, and look at your vision. So I'm going to just show you briefly. This is my vision board. So it is a little bit full. I'll just turn it that way too. And it has all the major aspects in my life that I wanted to look at. So family, freedom, financial, happiness, health, and that is all reflected in there. but I needed to make sure that it didn't just become a dust collector. And one thing that I noticed, and that I think is an activity that I will do with my team, so heads up team, and that I will do for myself, is I was in Lululemon one day, and they have employee cards on the top of the racks. And I don't know if anybody stopped to read them, but it was a clear vision of what that employee thought and what that employee wanted to achieve. And so when I read it, I was like, oh, like it was her perfect day. It was when she woke up, what she wanted, how she wanted the day to go, what she wanted to see. And then it showed how she got to that point. So I do think that you need to, one, know your vision, know your why, but attach it to your vision. And then you need to make sure that your vision doesn't get dusty, your glasses don't get clouded, and that you make sure that you are revisiting it and adjusting it. Strategy number 2, be realistic. So this is one of the things that I struggle with. I personally struggle to recognize how much time it will take me to actually accomplish a task. Thankfully, I have a best friend that reminds me of this, and she tells me that in any given day, I pack too many things into what I think that I'm going to accomplish, and then I get frustrated with myself. So it is okay to recognize your weaknesses and reflect on them, but don't get hung up on them. So and it's fairly recent that I've looked at it and learned that I am not realistic in what I think that I can accomplish in any given day. I always think that I can accomplish more because I forget how long it actually takes to complete that task. And that's okay, because now that I recognize it, I can go back and say, okay, well, I said that I was going to do this, this, and this, and this. And when I get to the end of the day, instead of feeling defeated, I can look at it and say, I did accomplish a lot in the time that I had given myself to do it, and that's okay. So, when it gets to that point where you're hitting the plateau, where you're wondering what you're doing, when you're looking at the why, when you're worried, you need to be realistic with yourself and approach the situation in a way that if in your time you have done what you can do, be okay with it. Number 3, feed your soul. So what I wanted to talk about with this is positive affirmations. So I think that we have gotten really good at encouraging our challengers. And if you were in any of my challenge groups, which none of you have been, I always talk to my challengers about positive affirmations, because I think that so many of them don't have the positive self-talk. And so we're constantly encouraging other people, and we're telling them that they need to speak kindly to themselves, and we're speaking kindly to them, and we're telling them all of these things, but we aren't giving positive affirmations to ourselves. So posting a sticky on your mirror, having something that is on, we're all attached to our phones. So having a screensaver on your phone where you don't have a choice, but when you look at that screensaver, it's reminding you of positive affirmation, of something that can encourage you. It can, at times, it can become something that you don't even realize that you're reading, but at other times, it can just really resonate with you at the right moment. Something else that I have found that I really like is my new bracelets. So this was another sign from the universe, and I have become one of those people that really believes in the law of attraction. And so on Instagram, there was this giveaway thing, and I was like, oh God, like I never win anything. So I put my name in there, and I was like, Mindset Warrior, blah, blah, blah. And I won. And I won these Malala beads from the Wonder Love shop on Instagram, along with like a $50 gift certificate and something else, a bottle of wine or something. And I was like, this is crazy. I just won these beads, and I don't even know what these beads are all about. So I kind of went back and forth with the creator of the beads, the one that made the bracelets. And she was like, well, tell me what you want to, like, tell me who you are. Tell me what you want to accomplish. Tell me these things. So I told her what my main focuses were. And I just kind of spewed. I didn't think a lot about it. I just sent her back this private message in Instagram to a complete stranger. I was like, well, I want to have unconditional love for my boys, and I want to have patience when they're driving me insane, and I want to make sure that my family is my focus, and I want to hit 5-star diamond with this Beachbody company that I'm working with, and I know you have no idea what that is, but this is what I want, and I want to have balance. That was my word for the year. I want to be balanced, and I want to have peace within my life, because there's so many things that happen, and then I want all the energy to deal with it. So in your little magic beads, can you create that for me? And I think I may have been taunting her like a tiny bit. So she wrote me back, and she was the sweetest woman, and she was like, okay, well, do you want a necklace? And I was like, oh God, I'm like, no, I don't want one of those giant things around. No, that's not what I want. I'm gonna wear my dime and be about it. She was like, okay, well then there's stackables. So these are stackables. I can wear them all of the time, or one at a time, or whatever. But they have brought me more smiles and more. They have grounded me. Whatever it is, there's something about them that really do bring me inner strength, and they really do feed my soul positively. So she knew. She did like Howlite is for abundance, and it's calming, so it's to help you achieve your ambitions. Carly-Ann, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, is promote high energy. Rose quartz is for unconditional love for family, and amethyst is balance and peace. And she took that out of my wall and gave me this beautiful thing that I can wear and I can look at, and that I find does feed my soul. So number 3 is make sure that you feed your soul. Number 4 is positivity. So in a lot of the things that I read, I hear, it talks about the fact that you need to get rid of negative people in your life. And I'm like, all is good and well, except for if they're family, or they're that person that you work beside, or like, let's be honest, you can't always just stop talking to somebody because they're not positive. It's in the reality, in the big scheme of life, it happens. So I have found that even though I sometimes have those people, if I overload on the positivity, I don't have that negative vibe. So, your tribe, your vibe attracts your tribe. Yes, but not only your tribe, it's where you shop. It's what you put into your body. It's what TV shows you watch. It's what music you listen to. And if you overload on these positive things, then I find that the negative, it kind of rolls off your back. And one thing that I did when I was really struggling was I did a 365 days of gratitude. And finding joy in the simple little pleasures in life makes a huge difference. And it's something that I would really recommend for people to do. Sorry, I just saw that pop up. The Wonder Love Shop is the Instagram account. But I'll go through and answer all those chats after. The Wonder Love Shop, and she's a sweetheart. So a gratitude challenge for yourself. If you feel that 365 days it's too much, start with a week. Start with 7. Find one of those Instagram challenges and do that. Do a 7-day post a nature pic challenge. It sounds petty almost when it's not something that you're open to, and yet when you focus on gratitude, it really changes the root and the core of who you are. Even little things like my soap, I was using this bottle of half-used Christmas soap that I don't know why it was still in the bathroom, but I was like, this doesn't bring me joy. Every time I look at this, I'm like, why am I using a Christmas soap? And then I swapped it out for this beautiful Bath and Body Works one that's called Beautiful Day. And it just made it like a million times better. And I was like, why? It's something so small, but it's finding joy in the little things. And for a long time, like for 365 days, I posted my highs at the end of the day. And I called them my highs, and people got used to reading them on Facebook. And that was a couple of years back after I'd gone through a few things. And it was really when my mindset started to change, was focusing on the positive. Number 5. So I labeled it TikTok, but maximizing your time. I went to the Diamond Retreat and listened to all my fellow diamonds talk about the awesome PD that they had been listening to. And I secretly turned to Jody and said, I never listened to any of this ever. And she was like, what? I was like, no, I haven't listened to a single PD. I don't even know how to load it on a podcast. I don't. And she was like, oh, but it's so good. Like there's so much good stuff out there. And I was kind of like, I don't have time. And she was like, no, but it's good. And I was like, oh man. And then somebody else said something, I believe it was Larissa. And then Bria asked me something, and I can't lie to Bria. And I looked at her, I was like, no, I don't listen to it. And she was kind of like, what? Okay. And I was like, no, like I really don't. And so I was like, oh gosh, I just kind of felt that I should maybe figure out what this PD is talking about so that I can talk to my team about it. And maximizing my time, what I have found is in the morning, the boys want nothing to do with me. They want to sleep in, or they want to, right now, because it's beautiful outside, we have a rebounder. So they want to get dressed, eat breakfast, and go out to the rebounder. So I can get ready in peace. And what else am I going to do except for get ready and put my makeup on and things like that while I'm listening to PD? I also have figured out that I can drive and listen to PD. And I know what it sounds like when I say I can drive and listen to PD, but it seems like I am in the car a lot. Even though my commute to work is literally 2 minutes, I am driving other times, and it's when I don't have the kids, and it's time that I can focus. And what I told myself was I don't need to listen to PD while I drive because I can't take notes. So if I can't take notes, there's no point in me listening to it, so I might as well just rock out to a song. But the reality of it is, the more I listened to it, then I was like, oh, that was a good one. Like, that's a good one. I liked that PD, so I can go back and re-listen to that part until it resonates with me. I don't have to write it down. I just have to hear it, and then I can decide what I want to do with it. And in the morning for my 2 minutes, I can rock out to my song before I go to work. So maximizing my time. I also have found that, the bath is a great place to get yourself into and lock the door and read something. And sorry, it doesn't have to be, something deep and all of those things. I have a couple of books on the go because there's times when you just need light. And so I really like memoirs of strong women. And it's fun about finding what you like and following through and reading those things. As long as you are filling yourself, and it goes back to what I was talking to you about positivity, as long as you are filling yourself with positivity, that's what's going to start to radiate out of you. Number 6, recognize your spark. So we undersell ourselves all of the time. All of us do. And it's like the secret women code that we do. And we have no problem telling other people that they are beautiful, that they are smart, that they are doing the best that they can, that they are all of these things. And then we turn around and we don't value ourselves and we don't recognize our spark. And you have to find a way to fuel your desire, and for everybody it's different. And when I looked at my life, I've been with my husband for 21 years. We've been married for, it'll be 12 in August, but we were high school sweethearts, and our boys are 9 and 7. And so who was I before I was with him? Who was I before I was a mom? Who was I? Well, I was a young, foolish girl, or I was just like, but at my core, I was a warrior. At my core, I was somebody that persevered. At my core, I was somebody that beat the odds. At my core, I was somebody that I wasn't going to take what statistics said and be like, oh, well, and I'll share it freely. I came from a single parent home. My dad was an alcoholic. My mom was in an abusive relationship for a long period of time. And I remember sitting in a university course, and the professor was talking about the statistics of females that had come from that type of home and how they either become prostitutes, become pregnant underage, or become alcoholics. and blah, blah, blah. And he's going on about the statistics of it. And I remember strongly putting my hand up in that class and saying, well, I'm the other part of that statistic. So when you teach this class again, can you please make sure that you recognize the fact that there are people in your class that have beat that statistic and don't make them sound that way. That was my gut. That was who I was. That had nothing to do with me being with Jay. That had nothing to do with me being a mom. That had everything to do with my spark, who I am. And each one of you has a spark. And for some of you, you're finding it. For me, maybe I can't put my finger on what it is, but I know that I'm not going to quit. I know that I'm going to beat the odds. I know that I'm not going to be that statistic. So you need to recognize your spark. Number 7. Watch out for the joy thief. I'm sure that you know what the joy thief is, and if not, it is comparison. There are so many things on Facebook or Instagram or whatever that say comparison is the joy thief. And, you know, we grow up hearing the grass is greener on the other side. We say it to other people. We know these things. In a business like this, it's really difficult not to compare yourself to other people. It's okay to, and this is something that we all have to learn. It's okay to look at it and say, oh, they're on fire. What are they doing? What do I like about their ads? What is it that they just did that I can mirror? What do I need to, like, what is it that I can change? But not what's wrong with me, not why can't I do that? And so the comparison factor is huge in our lives, and not just with Beachbody. I see the comparison factor in parenting. I see it in looking at children. I see it in family. I see it in body image issues. I see it being taught to children all the time. And so comparison is a horrible thing that we need to actually consciously focus on to change. And so I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, what is my actual advice? Because I like looking at, sorry, I have to take that. This is mine though for you. I believed I could, so I did. Sorry. I was looking at it and I was like, oh, like there are certain coaches that I get really excited to follow, and then I stop following them because I'm like, I can't keep up with them. And why can't I keep up with them? I can't keep up with them because my spark is different. And I can't keep up with them because my life is different and my story is different and my people are different. And who I am here to help or how I am going to encourage them or my journey is different. And so then I have to unfollow them. And sometimes I'll get a little nosy and I'll be like, oh, I'm just gonna like troll Facebook and see who this person is doing that or what they're doing. And then I'm like, nope, that was the wrong choice, because it was then I went back into comparison. I'm not to the point where I can go and check them out. And I mean, it happens, but you have to decide if what you're doing is going to benefit you when you go to compare yourself to somebody else, or if it's going to harm you. And if it's going to harm you, then you need to be strong enough not to do that. So comparison is the joy thief. For how long it takes somebody to do something, remembering that we all hit plateaus, remembering that somebody may be on fire one month and that's amazing and you need to celebrate that, instead of being like, why are they on fire? Why aren't I on fire? Why did they? Well, that person decided to go with them instead of me. Any of those things, I just caution you to watch how you're talking to yourself, and it goes back to wanting to put in the joy. Number 8. Be you. This one is huge when it comes to living intentionally, which has become another word for me for this year, along with balance, which balance and I are still having some issues. But being intentional in your actions and being authentic. And So I think that that ties in really closely with comparison. If you are trying to mirror somebody else, you're not authentic in your posts, your journey, your words, um, your challenge groups, how you speak to people, and you'll burn yourself out. You need to go back to remembering what your spark is, what drives you, realizing that it takes different time for everybody, but being authentic in how you do things. I said to Bria the other day, I was like, I'm struggling because I preach Shakeology when it comes to who I am, because every year I'm 38 this year, so every year for 36 years I got bronchitis. Every winter, I was always sick. I had the bark. I was always strep throat, earache, sick, 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 sick. So for a year and a half, I was like, I'm not sick. It's Shakeology. This is the best thing ever. I can do anything. In fact, I'm going to do my work and then I'm going to stay up extra late and then I'm going to get up at 5 o'clock like I have been and I'm going to burn myself out and I'm going to keep going. And on top of it, I'm going to have all these stressors. I'm going to expect Shakeology to not, like, it's going to be my protection shield and I'm not going to get sick. I got sick. And I said to Bria, I'm like, now I have to admit that I'm sick. And she said, yeah, like, do it. Well, yeah, because if I'm authentic about it, Shakeology kept me from getting sick sooner. And I know that. And Shakeology has kept this at bay. And the doctor has told me it's allergy induced. And it's okay for me to admit failure. That's a big thing. So being authentic. Yeah, you know what? You can go out there and say, I lost 20 pounds on Beachbody going full out doing 21-day fixed extreme. And then I went and ate my face off and, enjoyed barbecue season and went on vacation and put weight on. And well, hey, now I'm going to go back to Beachbody again and actually do the program that I was trying to sell you before because I do love it so much and it really does work. And now I'm going to do it. And it's okay to show the reality of this situation because you're being authentic and you're being real. Okay, number 9. So this is one that I struggle with, and I'm going to guess that a lot of you struggle with learning to say no. It is something that I know that I struggle with. I'm not necessarily a people pleaser, but I'm the person that if you're standing in a room with a group of people and they say, who can volunteer to do this? If it doesn't happen in the first 3 seconds, my hand will go up even though I have too many other things to do. And so learning to say no to things that are not going to help you achieve your goals is a huge way to manage your stress and manage the situations around you and to not get caught up in the weight of trying to achieve your vision. I don't have the answer yet to tell you how to do it, but I do know that it's important and I do know that it's something that I'm working on. So learning to say no. Yeah, and not feeling guilty for saying no. That's the huge part. You can sometimes say no, but then it's the guilt that overpowers you after when you're like, oh, like now what? The world might end because I didn't say yes. No, it still keeps going. I don't know how, but it does. So yeah, the guilt of saying no. I think saying no isn't necessarily the problem, but the guilt is. And number 10. So this is my last one, and it's mindset. So Bria has told you that on Instagram and on Facebook, I chose to use the term mindset warrior for my how I was going to approach things. And when I chose mindset warrior, I actually chose it because I was doing another multi-level marketing business at the time. And I was like, well, everything that I know is that you have to have a positive mindset. And if I look at it as mindset, then this is what it's going to be. It'll remind me that I need to be positive. And I, in my life, have had some ups and downs. And people often have said to me that they don't understand how I was able to manage or process or come through whatever it was I came through. And it always came back to mindset. And I didn't have a name for it. I just knew that I was able to come through things or maybe bounce back in a different way than other people. I'm not a wallower, and that's because of my mindset. So I fell upon a book called Mindset by Carol Dweck. Her last name is spelled Dweck. And it talks about how mindset, I have to quote this properly. Mindsets are beliefs, and failure can be painful, but we are agents of change, and mindsets can change the meaning of failure for you. So even though 1 through 9 are extremely important strategies for being a Beachbody coach and for approaching the plateaus and the flat lines and being positive, it really comes down to your mindset. And it comes down to recognizing that when you aren't achieving things at the time frame that you have planned, that's okay. You just need to readjust your plan. A person with a growth mindset doesn't believe that anyone can be anything. They believe that the person's true potential hasn't been developed or recognized. So having a growth mindset or a positive mindset is recognizing the power in the word yet, and looking at it and realizing that if you are not achieving your goals, or if you feel like you are flatlining, it's just because you haven't reached it yet. I do recommend reading the book. I found it to be extremely helpful. I did recommend it to the diamonds. Growth mindset is about success and doing your best and learning and improving, recognizing that there are setbacks, but finding them motivating and using them as an informative wake-up call. So that being said, I know that I've gone a few minutes over, so I apologize. I was trying to get my 10 in there quickly. I can touch on any of the points and expand further. If you have questions, I can read over the chat and see if there's anything else in here that you had asked, because it was popping up, but I didn't necessarily get to read it all. And if you have questions, ask me. My goal tonight was to give you some strategies that you could walk away with knowing that there's somebody else in the Beachbody family that has achieved diamond and didn't plan on it, and that I have hit the bumps in the road, and I am coming through one of those like stressful, crappy times where it's the fight or flight is kicking in, but it's fight. I don't even necessarily know flight, and that there are people that feel the same way you do at different times. So I just wanted you to have not necessarily all sunshine and roses, but that we can all come through it. So thank you.
Christine, that was so amazing. Before I jump in and ask her, talk about that, does anyone else have any questions that they want to ask or comments to Christine on this? I mean, I know a lot of people really needed to hear what you had to say tonight, it sounds like. And yeah, I'm just reading through. Larissa, do you have something?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, for people that you stated how busy your life really is, and I just commend you for all that you do. I think you're amazing, Christine. I think that maybe some people might want to know, when is it that you fit working your business into your day?
Right. So I love the fact that it's called a power hour, but I kind of sometimes joke that it's like bullshit. Like that, I can't fit it into an hour. I have to do it. So I do a chunk of it in the morning. I will take time after school. So I have to be at school by 8 a.m. and from 7 to 8, my house is, I focus on the house. Sometimes I will still be posting, and literally my posts are, I'll finish my workout, I will type up my posts post workout, I will come upstairs and wake up Ethan, who is my youngest, go in and wake up Logan, and then I'll sit down and post my post. Then I'll get in the shower, do my things, come out, quickly respond to anything. So I don't have a set power hour. I have tried at this point, and I can't. I find it more frustrating with myself that I can't fit everything in that I want to in that hour. So I have found that if I follow more of a routine, like the post, the workout, the post, follow up throughout the day, I will lock myself in the classroom now. I get like a 20-minute after, like when there's a 20-minute window where the kids are outside, and if I've got my photocopying together, I can like I will snap a picture and put it on Instagram. This is my lunch, or I'm eating at my desk, or this is my jar salad. So I still make sure that I have a presence in social media, but based on where I am. I don't make it pretty. There's no special lighting. Sometimes I'll respond to my group depending. Then I will take time, if possible, between work and going to whatever extracurricular it is, and then I will check in before I go to bed and make sure that I don't have any loose threads. If I get all of that done and I have additional time, then I'll try to think of an ad, or I'll follow up with somebody that I haven't been able to talk to before, or I'll go through and work on maintaining or building friendships, reaching out.
So you just kind of work it in throughout your day, like whenever you can.
Yeah. For me, I have to.
Yeah. That's good. That's a good question. Anyone else have any questions for Christine tonight? Speak now or forever hold your peace. No, I'm just kidding. I feel like, as Christine, thank you. First of all, this was, I'm not ever surprised when other people talk on the call how valuable it is, because I feel like I am fortunate enough to get to know a lot of you guys, probably more than you guys all necessarily get to know each other. And so I know how amazing you all are individually, but it's so helpful because we are all so different. And when you talk about, you're like, your thing is not about lighting. It's just about showing your reality. I think it just shows how we're all very different and that it can work no matter what. And you're going to end up attracting the people who are like you. And I think that's such a key part of what we do. Before we close out tonight, I just feel like what you said, there were so many amazing parts about what you said, but on the theme of perseverance, like everything from knowing your why and never forgetting your spark, like that's such a key thing. And feeding your soul, all these things are really what makes this such an amazing opportunity that we have and what we do. Like, it's not a short-term play. Even though we might sometimes see other people move faster or whatever in life, like this is about really truly about creating a community of like-minded individuals. I really feel that way. And I think when we can encourage coaches to come on and to like show up to these calls or show up to whatever that they can and just participate, I think we all start to realize the value in just being around other people who feed our soul. And that like always rolls down, waterfalls down into the rest of our life. When you're taking in good, when you're showing up around positive people, I think that is really, we make healthy decisions and we challenge ourselves to be better and we become more mindset warriors, and I just think that's such a valuable thing. So I'm so grateful that you shared this tonight. It was obviously what a lot of people needed to hear and certainly what I needed to hear too. So thank you. This is awesome.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Perfect. All right, everyone. I know it's late, but thank you for being on. Thank you for all that you put into this. And thanks, Christine, for showing up tonight. I think it really impacts all of us to hear from you. So thanks for being a part of the team and have a great week. We'll look forward to talking to you guys next week. Okay, bye.
Bye.